All right, guys, welcome back to the series. Now we are into the New York Giants. Okay, so the first big down, I went with hot blitz 3. This is called hot coverage. One of you guys corrected me, I think it was last year, where I was going over blitzes and stuff, and I was talking about this particular blitz, and I said, I just don't see how a professional team would utilize something like this. And I was wrong. When you guys pointed out that this is an actual concept called hot coverage. I can't remember the name of the coach that designed this, okay? But essentially, I got to make a video on this. I don't want this video to be too long, but I've been using this a lot lately, and I love the concept for it. You can't implement a lot of the concepts of it in Madden because a big part of it is where the quarterback looks. Okay, so if at the snap of the ball he looks this way, then these two players play differently than how these players play over here, right? I don't want to go too deep into that. I'm going to have to make a, specific video on that. But basically what I do with this play, 4th and 10, we're bringing 6, so if you block 5, we're going to get a free rusher. Okay, and I think if the back peels out on this particular concept, that then somebody has to peel out with them. Okay, so I got to look more into it, but I bring the deep third safety in because, again, you're going to have to get rid of the ball quickly, and there's just not going to be enough time for something like that to develop, and we want to kind of apex these guys, be able to squeeze on a route like that if a ball is thrown over here. And I'm going to pick this player, and I'm just going to sit really hard on the first down line. So we're going to see what happens. I got to look into what you would do if someone would have to peel with this, because then you'd be getting 5 on 5. So I wonder if there's something you would do with that. I got to look this up again. But we get a free rusher, and I'm just sitting inside on this. I'm not really concerned about this. If you throw it quick, then we just make a tackle. He can't make a decision in time, and we get the ball. So I start going through the playbook. Not a big fan of the under center. And I'm a big under center guy. I guess that has kind of transformed over the last couple of years because Madness seemed to go on full-blown shotgun, okay, which is fine. So I'm going through this stuff, and, I don't see nothing that I would like to stick in a particular formation and build a scheme off of, right? So that's really what I do when I'm in a playbook, and I'm not liking this stuff at all, right? But I get surprised later on with some stuff. So here, I'm looking through there, and, it's just not enough time, right? So I just pick up any play, and we're going to pick a run. And right here, I already am audibling to a quick throw because I know it's cover 0. Right? Pre-snap reading. I'm telling you guys, when you look at the pre-snap read videos and go over them, it's just like second nature, right? I mean, my hands probably went so fast to get to this audible, knowing where I'm going to go, right? Get to it, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, snap, 3-step drop, we're throwing a slant, right? Now, theoretically, I probably should have went with my guy Waller here, okay? Because man-to-man, whoever's man-to-man with him is going to be inside leverage, especially with this guy coming on a blitz, right? So it's you, and he's just going to run it out, right? So you can see, the safety was on him. That's even worse, right? So it's just wide open there. So, that's a clear-cut, easier throw. But I threw the slant backside. We get to 2nd and 3, and let me get back to trying to find some good stuff. So here I kind of like this, right? We got outside zone, inside ISO, and an I formation. And it makes sense because of the running back we got. And then we got play action with like the dagger concept here. And I like this because we're running that concept and we hook up right here. So we get like a high-low here along with the play action. So I believe, and then we got the spacing concept. I don't think I've went over the spacing concept. It's clearly a single high beating play. So we got a lot of good stuff in here. What I would do in this particular formation is come out in this formation. If it's double high, then we're looking to run the ball, right? If it's single high, then we check into stuff like this. Okay. So I go into this play. This looks like cover 0 again. I don't remember what I did. I don't know why I would put him into an out pattern. Oh, I know why. Because if it's cover 0 and you stay in the block, then he's going to be free with no threat out here. So he's gonna get in the window of these throws trying to cross in, right? So that's why I put him on an out, and I put the fullback on the blocking assignment. So whoever's defending him, when they see him blocking, you know, they will QB spy in Madden. You know, I can't remember the name. Green Dog is something else, but I'll leave it at that. I don't want the video to be too long because we got a lot of good stuff I think I want to get into. Snap the ball, and right here, look at this area right here. So a nice little ball, kind of throwing him over there. And of course, I threw it late, and I don't know why the quarterback threw it like that. I think it's because the route he ran was so trash. I don't know why he flared it kind of upwards instead of like running away from man. I just don't understand, right? So we go, and I like this concept. One of you guys told me that this is really the shallow cross concept. And you know, you didn't know why this guy Alex Byrne labeled it as Frisco. Okay, so something I want to look into, but I've grown to like this little concept here where we have this drag and we have that guy sitting over the ball. And against man, the Chiefs like to throw that route that I just threw. So we get up a touchdown. Here I'm doing a lot of like weird stuff. We come out in a single high look, but we're playing cover 2 invert. But then we're going to add a little bit more to the play by playing 2 match. So you guys should know what 2 match is. If you don't, I've made a video on that. And 2 match is excellent. It still works in Madden. I love it against 2x2 sets. Okay, it's probably my most played coverage against a set like this. And I've just started adding in a wrinkle of playing from invert to further the disguise of the play. And this is a invert cover 2 blitz package along with this. And I turn this into a creeper blitz. I mean, there's a lot with that, right? If you don't know what a creeper blitz is, definitely go check out the video I have on that, right? So, you know, it's just too much. The video would be too long. Okay, but with the creeper, we're bringing a pressure from a second or third level defender, but we're still only rushing 4. And we do that by taking a first level defender and bringing him into rolling him into the coverage. So we're maintaining the integrity of the back end of the coverage, but we're kind of simulating pressure from a second or third level defender. And it has a lot of benefits to it. Obviously, you can look to attack offensive line protections with that, but you're really trying to get the quarterback to see something like that, panic, thinking that pressure is coming. And little does he know, we have 7 on the back end of the coverage as if we were in a traditional coverage. And then we add to that with a invert cover 2, right? This guy's going to roll over. And this guy sitting up here, I like to sometimes use this guy in traditional cover 2 invert. And I just sit really hard on any route, right? Because I know the safety is going to play over the top. Okay, but with the blitz, with 2 match on, obviously I'm taking this player, taking him off the LOS. It's a defensive end, and I'm going to relate to the number 3. You guys should know the rules to that. Go check out my videos on that. Snap the ball, and right here, I'm looking at the 3 the entire time. Let me change the color. I'm looking at the 3 the entire time because that's who I am relating to. It's one of the benefits of cover 2 match. I see this going on because I'm relating to this. So now I'm firing off, knowing a screen is coming. Look how we are converting up to man in cover 2 match. Okay, so that's not a good thing against this screen, but we're able to shuffle through the mix and make a play for 4th and 9. And that's the play art. You can go back and check it out. I don't know. Oh, here it is. Okay, so he goes to the flat and he's sending these guys in, right? So again, this is all relative stuff. right? The number system, 1, 2, 3. I'm relating to the 3, and I went over in that cover 2 match series. When the number 3 goes to the flat, I almost angled this way because he's not going to be the 3 eventually anymore. Someone is going to come crossing this way, right? It's usually the case. So when they cross and he gets here and this guy gets here, well, now you're the new number 2 and this guy is the new number 3 and I should relate to him, right? So I don't. And then this guy crosses in. Now this guy, I mean, it's all about passing off receivers in this particular coverage, right? Because this guy leaks off over here, he doesn't really have to match, so he's sitting in the zone. So you'll see him kind of pass this guy off, right? So I'm just trying to climb to the middle of the field. I'm a little too late there, and I got a defensive end. So he gets a big play on 4th and 9. That's okay. Oh, and that guy, that's one of the things I got to toy around with in to match with an invert concept here. He's not going to match a vertical pattern, I believe. I have to look into that, right? But I've been toying around with that. I think Vic Fangio, he labels his cover 2 pressure package as like a storm package. I thought it was pretty cool, where he called lightning was pressure from the left and rain was pressure from the right. Something like that. You know, kind of nerdy stuff, but I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. Pretty clever with the wording. Here he flipped his offense to the other side, and I should have flipped my defense. But sometimes I just get lazy and I don't care, and I suffer for it. He runs 4 verts against cover 3 cloud from this side, and this guy's wide open in the seam. So that's really on me. Good play by him. Bad play by lazy me. So I'm looking for stuff. I'm like, man, I really don't like this playbook. And then I see this. This is sexy, and so is this. This is sexy too, right? Whole lot of good stuff here. I love the glance concept. Okay, I love it. Okay, and I think I'm gonna make a specific video on that particular concept. I love it, right? And then in this same formation, this is a play. See, this is when I look to build a scheme, I'm looking for bread and butter type stuff, right? Stuff that you can run that can attack a lot of different coverages where you are creating conflict in defenders, you know, something with a lot of options. And then we build off of a play like this when our opponent starts to cheat or play certain coverages that are good against it, right? This would be something I would build off of, especially in a formation that has that glance zone concept as well, right? And what I like about a play like this is it kind of streamlines your protection. And I think I'm going to get into a lot of protection stuff here. So I go into the alert glance, and right away, what's the pre-snap read, guys? This is definitely cover 0. So I'm like, see what I did here. Okay, I want to check into this play, right? Now, when you get into plays, your bread and butter type stuff, all plays, if you go through NFL playbooks, college playbooks, and you look at the plays that they give, you know, for the quarterback, he has his notes, right? You'll see that they'll have the protection that they want for that play, and they'll have a designated hot in the play, right? Because your hot throws is directly dependent of the pass protection, right? They are interconnected, okay? So if we are always going to slide to the will in this particular concept, it just makes it easier to kind of understand what you're trying to do. So in this particular concept here, you'll see me do it here, obviously. Oh, you see that question mark over the quarterback? It's just so annoying, guys. It's just so stupid, right? It's just dumb, right? So I check into the play. I'm finally able to, right? He finally, you know, gets rid of the cobwebs webs in his head. It just doesn't make any sense, but whatever. Anyways, to me, I think you're always going to slide weak with this particular play. So obviously you're going to see me set the mic to either this guy or this guy. And what that does in the game is, against an even front, you go to the easiest way to figure this out, and I'm going to have diagrams. You go to the first uncovered lineman, and he's included in the slide, right? So he's going to be, we're going to get a 3-man slide this way. So these 3 are taking out these 3. Okay, jet protection. So that makes this guy one-on-one and this guy one-on-one. What that means is, if one of these 2 players decides to come, because we have 5 going out into the routes, then we have to throw hot. And the reason why that is because we don't have anyone to pick up these guys coming on a pressure, right? We have to get rid of the ball before they get there. The reason why we want the slide to go over here is because we can out leverage to the outside over here. Our concept side is over here, right? I think I went over it in an early video, where you want to slide away from your concept side. You want the hot defender, if you're going to bring somebody that we are going to leave unblocked, you want him coming from the concept side. And the reason why that is because when you snap the ball, you're going to be looking over here first, right? You're looking over here. We have a good concept to attack a lot of coverages. If you're in single high, we're going to ride that corner out of there. And then we're just going to high-low the flat defender, right? You're going to be looking over here. So if we're going to be looking over here, we want it to where when we snap the ball, if we see this guy come, well, now we know to get rid of the ball. As opposed to snapping the ball and having to look over here first to see if someone's coming. Okay, he's coming, let me throw hot. So now you look back to this side to throw hot, right? That's just not the best way to do it. It's not the effective way to do it. You want to slide away from your concept side, okay? So I should do it here, and I do. I slide there. So right away, right here, I'm looking at these 2 players. Okay, he's coming. He's free. We have no one to block him. You see how we're sliding this way? These 3 are good to go. Big on big. Free player. Right? But the reason why we like it this way is because defender on him, who's on the back? If you come, then are you on the back? If so, you're outflanked to the flat, right? It's even worse if this guy, well, he wouldn't be because he's man-to-man here, right? What if he were to come and this guy wasn't man-to-man with the back? It would make it worse, right? So the second I see him, I already know where I'm going, right? So I'm letting it develop a little bit, and then we throw outside. And throwing hot, we pick up 18 yards. So let's get into this, guys. Let's just kind of clear this up a little bit. So the way I look at it in Madden is there are 4 different fronts when it comes to pass protection for me. Obviously, there's guys who deal with, football in real life, and I'm pretty sure it has nothing to do with this stuff, but this is the way I look at it, okay? So it's easier for you to kind of see. You got odd fronts, even fronts, I call bear fronts, and then double A-gap mug fronts, okay? So what we see here is an even front, okay, 4 on the line. All right, and the way I look at it is the same concept. We are running this, right? Go to the flat. We want to slide weak, right? So we set this guy as a mic, so they're going to slide that way, right? You go to the first uncovered lineman. It's the easiest way to see it. First, he's covered, uncovered, right? First uncovered lineman. When we set the mic here, okay, so you are into the slide. Slide, slide, slide. So it doesn't matter what these 3 guys do. If they were to do something like this, where I go out, I loop in, you are always stronger on the slide side of your protection. Your man side is a little bit more vulnerable, right? But on the slide side, we are pretty strong. Even if you do all this loop stuff, we're good to go. We should be, right? Because you would just, the center would take that guy, guard would end up getting the tackle, and this tackle would end up getting that backer, right? You can draw up whatever you want. We should be sure with this. That's why when I think of it as I'm playing, I visualize it like this, right? So it's almost like I X them out. So I don't, it's less clutter for my mind, right? And then we're locked and big on big over here. So what does that mean? That means if you come, you are our hot. If you come, we throw hot. And obviously the designated hot in this play would be this player. Okay. So what happens if we snap the ball and he doesn't come? Well, now you really don't have to panic at quarterback. You should know that you're pretty good in protection, right? No one should be coming scot-free unless they bring four weak, I think they call it. So I wonder if I go to the diagram here. So this is a different look, but again, this is an even front, right? If we set him as the mic, post, okay? Even though the movement is different, nothing changed, right? Go to the first uncovered lineman, away from the slide side, center, right? So you are involved, we get a 3-man slide. These three, big on big. Guess what? We're hot off of this player, and we're also hot off of him. Okay, because if both of these players come, we have no one to get this guy. But the reason why, looking at this, you wouldn't be worried about this player is because if you come, well, who has number 2, right? That's why whenever you see something like this safety coming over the top of this guy, right, and coming down a little bit, now you have to worry about this player, because if he comes, they have him there to man up this guy going upfield, right? Okay, so maybe that's a little bit too far into the weeds. So I think they call it 4 weak. If they send 4 weak, what do you do in that situation? That's when you have what is called a sight adjustment, right? There's different ways you can pick up different blitzes. If this guy were to come over here, over the top, and they're going to man to man, and obviously you wouldn't know until post snap, and then they actually do bring 4 to this side, right? And you got big on big, you got a 3-man slide, right? So this guy's coming scot-free, and you're running your concept here, but he's out defending, right? And you were looking at him as the hot, but he does not come, right? I think they call it a sight adjustment, where if this player originally had this in the play, it's a built-in adjustment. It's automatic, okay? If at the snap of the ball, these 2 players both come, you are supposed to automatically convert into like a slant. And that would be the sight adjustment for the play, right? I think some offenses don't have sight adjustments in their playbooks, or they don't even deal with that because that's a whole nother world. But I think it's pretty cool. Obviously, it's not Madden, okay? So I'll move forward and go to a different look. But again, everything's the same, right? Even front, if we set him as the mic, what happens? We get a 3-man slide here. First uncovered lineman, big on big, hot off of that player, and we're actually hot off of this player if we send him to the flat. So I could get into 6-man protection and dual protection, but I think the easiest way to learn protections is to learn 5-man protection first. You start off with that, and then you kind of build into 6-man protections, right? I don't know why I keep showing this same diagram. Okay, how about this? All right, so we went over even. Now, what is this? This is an odd front, right? So now it changes a little bit, right? So let's draw our concept here, flat, okay? So we set this guy as the mic, right? We want to slide weak because we want the hot to be off of this side, okay? We're assuming you're a man, whatever. Well, what do? You go to the first uncovered lineman, and I usually just skip this guy in an odd front. I go all the way to the guard here, right? You go to, because the center is covered now. So you got to go one more over to the guard, away from the slide, and that's your 4-man slide. So against odd fronts, you get more like a 4-man slide, as opposed to against even, you get 3-man slides, right? So these 4 got these 4. then the tackle is big on big. And that leaves this guy as the hot, right? So if you're man to man, you're man to man. Who's man to man on the 3? Because if you all come and you come, then the safety has a lot of area to travel. You'll see that in Madden. In real life, I don't think you would ever see a safety designated as man-to-man coverage in a blitz like this, a line pre-snap way over here. But you will see that in Madden when guys call this blitz, blitz packages against a formation like this. Okay. So I think I have something else here, but it's easier to see it that way. Against even, I go from center on towards the slide. Against odd, I look at the guard as the first uncovered, even though he's really not uncovered. He's really uncovered as well. It's just easier. You work from center to guard away from the slide side. That's the way I see it. Okay, this is a different look, right? A little bit different, like a 3-4, but it's the same thing. It's an odd front. You go, if we set, let's see here, if we set this guy as the mic, we go to the guard here, away from the slide, and we get a 4-man slide. So these 4 are responsible for these 4. Tackle is on you. Now we're hot off of these two defenders, right? So if one of these guys come, we got to throw hot. There's different protections, right? You can turn this into a 5-0. I think they call it 5-0 protection, where instead of us sliding to a particular player weak side, okay, we can set it to where the offensive line is responsible for these 5 players, right? I think they call that a 5-0 call, where they're just responsible for the box. And now you would be hot off of these guys, right? You could slide this way, right? What if we tag this guy as the mic? So now we get a 4-man slide here. Now we're hot off of these 2 defenders, right? But everything is, again, dependent on the play. That's what, what makes the most sense for the pass protection when it comes to the play that we have called. And when you have something like this, it would make the most sense to slide away from the concept side, right? Big on big there. You got him. We want to be hot off of these defenders because then we're looking to throw to our back, right? Now, one way you can get into trouble there is if I'm defending the 3, I have the 1, I have the 2, and I come, so now you have to throw hot. We're kind of out leveraged there, right? So I wonder if there's a better way to protect against that. But just giving it to you so you can actually kind of see the difference between odd and even and how they slide, right? Maybe it would in that situation. Well, no, I'll leave it at that. I mean, it's easier to kind of, we're always sliding weak when we're running this play, right? When you get into the point to where, depending on the fronts, you change the mic, you change the slide and all that, you can get to that point, but I think it's easier if you start off where a certain play, you're always sliding weak or strong based upon the play, and it just makes your decisions easier. So this is what I call double A-gap mug, right? You guys have seen that where they bring the backers up like this, okay? And the offensive line, if you're sending 5 out into routes, you can either set the mic here or set the mic here, okay? If you set the mic here, because we are all covered and offensive lines are protection schemes, you're always blocking inside out, right? You don't want anyone coming free in the A or B gaps ever, right? If you set him as the mic, we are going to get, and think about it, we're all covered, right? Really the first uncovered away from the slide. So we're going to get a 5-man slide going this way. That would mean that this guy, we're hot. And this type of protection is not good against this type of front. And I learned this the hard way, I think last year. I was playing a guy, I'm really good with the protection stuff and the offense. you know, and he kept running this front, okay? And the problems I kept getting into is he would show this front, I would set this as the mic, okay? I would snap the ball, and what would happen is these guys would fly out of there, okay? And you think, okay, well, you're still good. Well, no, because they're so close to the line, this guy has to slide this way with the protection set that way. So he would slide that way. Okay, no, they're out of there. Let me turn back and get the end. It's too late. This guy's coming scot-free, and he only rushed 4 players, right? So I would get a simulation of cover 0 blitz trying to throw into 7 in the back end, right? And I was struggling, okay? And it's crazy because I loved it, right? Because I was trying to figure out, what do I do, you know? And it kind of like, it was like a cat and mouse game. And I finally figured it out, okay? That's where I like to do 6-man protection, where I check release the back. And what that does is, when you check release the back, the protection changes a little bit. Say we set him as the mic, okay? Well, now, check releasing, you will see a C icon. And in this particular front, they will put it on one of these backers. So basically, we are Xing out. It's like X out theory. The back is responsible for this guy no matter what. So what does that do? That means the offensive line, we have him, you have him, and you have him, right? So in a situation where he shows the look, snap the ball, and he's out of there, right? I'm not panicking because I know my tackle has the end, right? My guard has this guy, and we were sliding this way. You're out of there, but okay, big deal. We're good because we got our 3-man slide. Now the center can help with this side, and we're good to go on this side, right? As opposed to if he does come, what if they all come, right? That's fine too, because I got him. Guard gets the tackle, you get the end, and we get our running back on the backer. He's not blocking a defensive end, right? And then I'd be good. I'd be throwing deep posts. I do whatever I want, right? I finally figured it out. And it came because I ran into that problem where I was dealing with this guy, and he was doing this, and I struggled mightily in that game. And I loved it because I was trying to figure out a way to deal with it, and I finally figured it out. 6-man protection, check release, at least in the game of Madden, okay? Is there anything else I want to cover here? I don't think so. It's probably more, but I think I'll leave it at that. This video is way too long. So what about this? This is what I call a bear front. Now, I know this may not be the real bear front. It's probably a lot of nuances to it, but it's just how I call it. And these are the 4 fronts that I think about when it comes to pass protection in the game. And with this, all of our guys are covered here, right? So they will pretty much almost always block like this, right? So we're hot off of this guy, right? Now, what guys would do in Madden last year and definitely this year is they would play that front, right? And a lot of people struggle with this. They would take that lone backer, and you've seen it. They'll come and hug this gap right here. Why would they do that? And why would it work? Well, again, now we are all covered. He's considered a guy covering a lineman. We want to protect inside out. So now the guard has to honor the threat of this guy coming, and the tackle has to squeeze on this guy. And now this guy's coming scot-free. But what guys were doing is they would hug this gap. You would snap the ball. They would step a little bit and then get out of there, right? Now they got, right, 6 on the back end, okay? And this guy's coming scot-free at your quarterback. And the reason why is because, again, we all slide. He would honor that. And the tackle would have to honor him. You know, okay, and he slides. Oh, he's out of there. Let me turn out and get the end. You can't, right? It's too late. He's free. The second you turn like that and now you whip back out, it's just too late on the line. And that's what guys would do, right? So how would you combat that? Because you wouldn't want to be forced to throw hot off of this player by sliding this way. right? You make him the hot. Because you snap the ball. He come, all right, let me throw hot. But now he's involved in the pass defense as well, right? And they would do a number of things. Maybe the safety is down, so you can't really just throw hot. You know, you're looking to throw a slant, and this guy's right in the window. I mean, it's just so many problems, and this guy's coming right at you, free. So what do? Again, this is where I would use six-man protection, but I would check release the back, right? And now you just neutralize this entire deal that they do with the what I call the bare front, hugging the A gap with the backer, right? What would happen is you would turn him into a check release, and the icon would come on this guy right here. And again, it's X out theory. So now we're good. So you'd snap the ball, he would hug and get out of there, right? But now when you do that, think about it, right? Slide, 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 slide. I'm checking to see if he comes, right? If he comes, I got him. But if he doesn't come, then I go out into my route, right? So they would do that, fly out of there, right? I'd be good. I'm good in protection. You think the ball's got to come out quick because you assume, based upon playing everybody else, that this guy's coming scot-free. So you're sitting on everything. Meanwhile, I snap the ball. And the thing is, when you have that protection set like that, check icon, where are you hot, right? Well, if he comes, he's free. If anybody else comes, they're free, but they're so far away, they're not coming, right? So, I mean, with this particular front, I wouldn't even be afraid to get a free rusher coming at me. So this is where I would dial like a deep post, you know, I would torch this, you know, and guys would run this and there'd be nothing that they can do. What if he actually does come, right? We're still good because the back would take him and everybody else would be good to go, right? Little things like that, like knowing who's responsible for what, why are you struggling against a particular front, why are they getting away with what they're doing with mugging a gap in a particular front? When you understand like protections, it's just easier to deal with it, and then you're able to kind of play with like a, I don't know, you're not panicking. You're kind of patient in the pocket. You know what's happening. You snap the ball, and you're not in a rush, right? You know where you're going with the ball. You become almost like methodical. So I wonder if I have anything else here. I don't. So even front, set him as a mic. Again, what's supposed to happen? These three over here, big on big. We're hot off of these two defenders, right? One of these defenders come, I should throw hot. Snap, free. But we don't care because we are throwing hot. So I just replayed the play we just did. We're going to get to some real cool stuff here, I think. So here, this is very interesting, okay? So he's in an even front. I set him as the mic, so I'm expecting this, right? Same deal. We're hot off of these players here. Okay, so nothing interesting because he didn't do it. I think it's in the next play. We're good to go. We throw it to the flat. So whenever you get single high, you don't have to worry about cover zero, right? Because the middle of the field is closed. I don't even know why I diagram. I feel like an idiot. But I just couldn't wait to get to, I think this is it. All right, so what is this? Odd, even, bare, or double A gap mug. This is odd, right? So setting, again, with this play, we want to slide weak, at least in my opinion. So I'm expecting this guy right here, right? He's involved in it. We're going to get a four-man slide. You guys are responsible for these four. Big on big, I'm hot off of this guy, right? So at the snap of the ball, this is my concept side. Snap of the ball, I'm looking at this player. If he comes, this easy decision. I'm just throwing hot, right? Good to go. If he doesn't come, that's fine too. Now I can take my time, read the defense, and attack with the concept or work the drive concept over here, right? I set the mic over there, and he's not coming. So I'm telling you, when this happened, my eyes were over here. I wasn't even paying attention to anything here. I'm like, all right, I'm good, right? But he was running a 3-3 blitz, and we see the purpose of those types of blitzes, right? They are attacking protection schemes, okay? And we'll see it right here. So I'm looking over here. I'm like, all right, curl flat defender, right? You're gonna run off the coverage, and I'm just gonna throw off of the curl flat. All right, you're coming down on the flat. I'm good to go. Like my eye vision was here. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna throw it right over on this out pattern. We're good to go, and I get rocked, and I'm like, what? So I show it again, and I think even with the slide, theoretically we should have been fine. Okay, because when we are involved in these guys, it's a slide. It's not like I have this man, you have this man, you have this man, I have this. No, it's a slide. I have this gap, I have this gap, I have this gap, I have this gap. So whatever four come from this side, we should be good, right? So he comes over, he should have them, right? He should work to this guy, and this player should peel off to get this guy, and the left tackle should peel to get this guy, right? I mean, it's just the idea of the slide, but it doesn't happen. This guy's coming free. So whether that's, I don't think that's a game design issue, maybe. But it happened, right? So he got me, right, with this blitz right here. I'm like, oh, okay, he got me. I like that, right? Here it is right here. Slide right here. That's what I was expecting, big on big. He doesn't come, so I thought I was good, but this guy's coming. But again, it's a slide, right? You should have ended up in a, I mean, I know this is sloppy, right? But those offensive linemen, when they're playing, they're yelling, switch, switch. They're, they're communicating and everything, right? And they have their eyes up. When they're blocking someone, they're not just locked on the guy. They have their head up, eyes looking at the second level, feeling the guy that they are blocking, but they're still paying attention to the second level, right? So I go to the same play, and he's in the same front. And I'm like, he's going to do it again. This guy's going to come. That's what he got going on here. So you're not going to get me again. How about we do this? We set him as the mic, right? Now I expect, and this is what I was expecting. You guys are going to pick these four up. Big on big. We're hot off of these defenders, right? I think you wouldn't necessarily be hot off this defender. Because theoretically, if he comes, then it should morph into these guys, right? And we would have to throw hot off of this player. But theoretically, what I was thinking is you guys are going to take this because it's going to be the same blitz, and you get him. I have him tagged as the mic. Okay, and we'll see what happens. Snap. Look at that. Picking up that blitz. Got him. I'm good. And you'll see me actually drift away from the blitz when I shouldn't have, right? And I can tell you right now it's because my faith in the game is not there. Okay, I know what's supposed to happen, but I'm still nervous, right? So you'll see me drift when I don't have to. I could have been right here, and now I drift out of the pocket, allowing this guy to have the potential to make a play, okay? But it could have been a lot more crisp had I sat in the pocket, right? But it just goes to show you it worked. Now I'm looking downfield, throwing off of that guy. I mean, that's just beautiful. But pay attention to something. I thought that this was cool. I think I'm going to turn it up. All right. So I show it again. Look at that slide. That's just beautiful, right? It's going to get loud, I think. I set him as a mic. Yeah, so everything checks out. I wanted to show how I drifted over and almost allowed that defensive end to make a play. But listen to this. You see how I thought that was cool. I didn't notice it until I went to the replay and I was diagramming the stuff up. I'm like, oh wow, he made the Rita call. And I was listening to, what's that, I think it's O'Donnell. I can't remember his name. He was the offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien, offensive coordinator of the Patriots in Brady's earlier years. And, you know, they have protections when they're in empty. And in Brady's first and second year, they had everything kind of locked where, hey, this is the protection for this play. It is what it is. But he talked about how Brady was so smart in like the third year to where Brady would say, hey, you know, if I know the defensive end on the weak side is not coming and they're in a 3-3 blitz like this, right? But the defensive end was flaring out, etc. He goes, can I turn this into a Rita call where they slide right? Like where Brady knew this guy was not coming. I mean, he was just so smart, right? I don't even know how he would know. But he would know an empty protection. You can go look up the video. It's Bill O'Brien. Look up empty protection or empty. It'll pop up. And he talks about it. It's just very interesting where Brady would be like, what if we're in empty and I know this guy isn't coming? I know he's going to flare out. Can I, instead of us being in Lucy or whatever it is, can I make a Rita call so we're sliding to pick up the 5 this way? Because I know he's not coming. That way I'm good in protection. Because essentially, you know, a 3-3 blitz, I wish I had a good diagram to show it. You know, they want to do something like that to kind of hold a tackle, and now we can get an overload on this side because now we're 4 on 5 on this side. We're bringing 5. We get a free rusher from this side when you're in you're sending 5 out into routes because we had this guy hold the tackle here and he flares out of there. And Brady was saying, well, if I know this guy is the DE is dropping, can I just make a Rita call so we're sliding this way so that way, you know, we're not in trouble with the protection? Something along those lines. Definitely go check it out. I know I'm probably way off, but I just thought it was very interesting. So, oh, you know, you guys know the play here. I saw this play in the playbook, and I'm like, yeah, you guys know why I love that play, right? I mean, 100%. And then I noticed this glance play from the same formation, which is beautiful. I'm just not used to the throwing motion of our quarterback there. Then I noticed this Hank passing concept. So doubles, offset, weak. Man, I'm really a spread guy. I'm really kind of, like I knew beforehand, but I just know, like, I'm just so comfortable in spread. So if someone were to ask, what, you know, stuff do I like, air raid or you know, Don Coryell, I'm a spread guy. You know, anything from spread, I'm just so comfortable in it. So I decided to run what looks like the Hank passing concept. I think I knew he was in cover 6, but everything's spot drop. I didn't think he was matching, so I'm like, I could really just kind of attack a zone or something like that. And I think, yeah, that's what happened. I just threw it to the guy inside there. Yeah, I think I need to wrap this up because this is probably pretty long. This is 2-man, and this is a good concept to run. High-low, running away from man. When it comes to what routes beat man-to-man coverage, you want to find the routes that run away from man. Right? This deep end pattern. Look how I kind of just lob it up there. No, and I'm good. And I got that from Kurt Warner. You know, and obviously, you know, I mean, it's pretty simple understanding, but, you know, looking at a route, you know, you want ones that are running away from man. Okay, obviously this, I mean, all of these are kind of running away from man. So you would have a lot of options here against a lot of different man-to-man coverages. You just throw away from where they don't have help, stuff like that. So here I checked into the stress coverage that I want to go over soon. And look at how oh, it's just so beautiful, man. Let's just watch that again. That's the benefit of playing a coverage like stress or stubby. When you play regular quarters coverage, this guy is kicking over to take the vertical of number 3, right? So you're not in a true split field coverage anymore. This guy's one-on-one over here. But when you play stubby, stump, stress, right, you keep the integrity of split field. This side is completely independent of this side, so we're able to do a lot of different things with this safety, and he's able to help out on the backside with the X. And that's exactly what happens here. So in stress here, I'll go over the rules in a different video. Snap the ball. He comes over almost for like post control. And then he works back to help on the post there. I mean, that's just like, that's pretty damn good. And I think that kind of pissed him off. So maybe I should stop doing that. I'll leave it at that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I kind of like the Giants playbook. It's pretty decent. Not a lot of stuff. I don't like the under center stuff, but the stuff from shotgun is just the 2 formations where I found that stuff. I would run that as a base for the scheme, and I would build from there.